The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast are those of the host/guest and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any of BXR entities and those they represent.
It's another Thursday, and you're right here back with me on the You Better Live live online radio show to Be Exposed Radio, Be Exposed Media. It's always a joy because that's why when I get to another Thursday, I know there's a God. Each day, I know there's a God. But let me tell y'all, my energy, my spirit is a little depleted. It's things going on in my life, but guess what? I am not defeated. So let's get this thing rolling. Thank you all for joining me tonight. I got some topics to talk to you about. Of course, I always got to let you know what's going on the inside, give you all my sources. I was supposed to have a guest. It'd be a real mess, but guess what? It's all good. I am looking forward, though, this next week. I suppose to have a guest. Y'all know that this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and she is a breast cancer survivor, and she also has started an organization. So if y'all want to see that, she has some things going on, make sure to join me. Also have some more interesting guests that's lined up. And then also, if you anytime you want to be a guest, you got something that you want to promote, anything else, talk about your business, come on here and talk it up on a what's up, the what was what, with your girl, ChasReal, the Empress Lady Kate Miss, and this is the place. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. While I'm going on through the show, you can comment in the text, in the group text, and then also don't forget to like, share, and comment. And then the phone lines is open at 443. What's that number again? I always wish your name. I just don't see it. But I always forget it. But yeah, like, subscribe, and share. Come on, y'all. Show me some love. If you haven't already liked the page, please do so. Tell a friend, and then even an enemy. You know how I get it started. The phone lines is 443-642-9403. Don't be shy. Call up and talk to your girl. But I'm also as much grateful if you just want to talk in a text. I read your comments out, and of course, give you a shout out. Thank you all for joining me today, my faithful listeners, my faithful viewers, my faithful followers, all of y'all who have told anybody about ChasReal, the Empress Lady Cake Mix, and this show, You Better Live, where we are promoting You Better Live. This is that platform to spread positivity about the city, positivity about you, as well as get it your way. Your news, our views, because people be doing a whole bunch of talking, but they'll never get our part. But anyway, y'all know how I get it started. Always got to give all glory and honor to God, no matter what I'm going through. I told y'all I'm going through some things. Yes, energy and spirits are more depleted, but I am not defeated. I am on the strive to let what has been pulling me down to lift me up. And I pray that you will do the same. So, I give all honor and glory to God. I start my show off with a prayer because I am here. You are here by the grace of God. So let's get it started. And guess what? Just before I get that started, if you got good energy, just extend your hands to the screen. Send it my way. Send it my way. God loves you. God bless you. God, I come to you as humbly as I know how, oh Father God, just first giving you all the thanks, oh Father God. I thank you to know that no matter what I'm going through, oh Father God, you never leave my side. God, I ask you to bless everyone who is viewing, everyone who is listening, oh Father God, everyone that continues to spread your love, oh Father God, in your glory, oh Father God. Keep us, Lord. It's a lot going on, oh Father God. We know, oh Father God, but you, oh Father God, you know all and you see all, Father God. Let it be by your will. Let us stay faithful, Lord, and let us continue to strive, Lord, to be our best selves, oh Father God, in the image of you. Thank you for everything. Amen. 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 You know how it be sometimes people say, I will not complain. And that's my thing. It's not really a complaint, it's just like an acknowledgement. You had to acknowledge a lot of times what you're going through, because if you don't acknowledge it, what they say, you can't change it. A lot of people say don't question God, but guess what? That's who you go to for answers. And I truly believe that God allows things to happen in our lives so we can call on Him. So I had a post the other day when I said, I need help. But what I learned to do is not, call on people, but to call on God. So I just thank God because I've been crying out to Him, and He has definitely been sending people my way to help me. I'm not a person that is real comfortable with accepting help. And I don't know why. I always want to help somebody, but for me, it's just always been a struggle. So I'm just trying to humble that part of me, and be able to just receive it. I'm always giving it out. That's just in my spirit. God said, receive it, receive it, receive it. This for you, because you know me. I just always think it's some propaganda and it's some method to the madness. So I'd be like, oh, no, no, never mind, never mind. I don't want nobody to throw anything in my face. But I know that it's God's grace that brought me my way. So I pray on it and I trust on it in that way. So y'all know how I do. I run them little segments on what in the world and what in the what, because we always talking about what's up, what's up. I love to give y'all updates and educate, because we know and we get to grow here together. I done gave several updates on my girl, Brittany Griner. Yes. Brittany Griner, the WNBA player who was detained over there in Russia. 9 years she was sentenced for possession of narcotics. Well, she just had cannabis oil, but yeah. However, her sentence is much more extreme than any other of the Russian citizens have received for the same type of charge. I always say it's political, it's political, it's political warfare. But yeah, Brittany Griner was just over there. She celebrated her 32nd birthday. Her lawyers and her family report that she's not in the highest spirits, rightfully so. But she is sending love and thanking everyone who has continued to support her and is speaking on her coming home. Kyrie Irving made a statement publicly saying, POTUS, do your job. Get this girl home. So the great news is that, yes, Brittany Griner did appeal the conviction. Her appeal hearing is set to take place, I think, next week. Yeah, next week on 10/25. Now, her lawyers is saying that they don't think that her sentence will be completely overturned. However, they are hoping for a lessened sentence. So again, just sending her love, sending her prayers, y'all, because y'all know that ain't right how they got that girl up in there. 32 years old, Brittany Griner. So sis, I'm still praying for you, because I could not imagine. I could not imagine, baby. I probably would be over there like comatose. Something else that I seen that was really like just disheartening, and them just sharing her experiences um, over there, was that the prison does have a basketball goal. Her lawyers say that they asked her if they wanted her bring her basketball, because they have a basketball hoop but no basketball. And she basically declined. She said it's too hurtful. So even though that's her passion, that's what she loves to do. She doesn't even want to do that to, exhaust her time or anything else like that. So I'm definitely praying for the sister, because I'm not going through that, but I go through things. And just like I said, I can only imagine. So yeah, my heart goes out to her and anybody who has been, wrongfully convicted, anybody who has unjustly been detained for whatever reason, for your race, just not for the facts of your case. You get what I'm saying? And then also, with that being said, y'all know that I was giving updates on Anan Hut Saeed. That's the brother who just is free at last. In my Martin Luther King voice. Yes, what I find remarkable is just a week after he was declared free, where the state of Maryland decided they was not going to prosecute his case. For those who don't know, Adnan Saeed was a man detained, 17 years old, back in 2000, got found guilty for the murder of his ex-girlfriend. I think it's Manheen Lee, who was 18 at the time of her tragic murder. He served over 20 years, so from 17 up into his 40s. He just was released in September. His conviction was vacated in October. And when it was vacated in September, he was released on a box. The state prosecutor's office had 30 days to determine if they were going to retry him on these charges, and they decided they were not going to retry him on these charges. I know for him, it was so surreal. It was a dream like that he's been waiting for forever. And he just was finally free. So I bring him up to say what I think was remarkable, because just a week after being a free man, Anan Saeed just conducted a lecture up at where was he at? I believe it was at the School of Law right here. Yeah, right here. The school. I got to check over on my notes, y'all. Y'all know how I be doing the witching in the facts and everything. The Baltimore School of Law, and his lawyer, Erica Suter, who was one of his attorneys with the Innocent Project, spoke on him. She said that she actually tweeted. She said that it was a master class with grace and courage, generosity and kindness, and he was able to break down his entire procedural history of his case. Just remarkable that he gets these opportunities to do these things now, like finally free. Just like I said, I'm sure that he will use his pain for a greater purpose. And it just was like remarkable to me and inspiring that he would do that. I know it's a lot that he has to get used to. But yeah, he's already out and he's at it, sharing as much of his experience. And yes, whether he wants to or not, he's an advocate. He's definitely going to be an advocate for the injustice that was done to him. So way to go, Anan Saeed. I'm definitely a fan. Good brother. I was praying for you, keeping you lifted. I'm happy that you are free, and even more pleased to see that you are getting back to some normalcy of your life. So I know that it's important for people to use their experience to educate and elevate, the minds of others in different areas. So yeah, that's just is remarkable. Hey, Shalina, that's my good girlfriend. I see her over in the comments saying, "Hey, Chas." I was rapping with her last night, and she definitely was feeding me some inspiration, helping my spirit. She didn't even know. She didn't even know. I told her the other day, God uses people to uplift you. But yes, I've been getting a little bit discouraged, guys, because we already know how it is. People tend to not, the people that you believe to support and love you personally, is just unfortunate that you learn that they struggle, or often mostly will not love and support you publicly, not into it's popular for whatever reason. So I'm just, conflicted, in some of the things, because I'm like, wait a minute, I don't do anything but show love, but I'm getting in this understanding, like I said, just keep crying out to God that I am who I am, and I'm going to keep on giving love and keep on giving support. I'm going to keep on allowing God to use me wherever he sees fit. And I'm beginning to understand that just because you give love to certain people or to certain things don't mean that you're going to get it back from that same source. So I just thank God for anybody that he sends my way to help me. See, when you sometimes cry for help, people always think that it's financial, think it's something like that. But sometimes it's just a word. It's just a word of encouragement. Sometimes it can be a visit. Sometimes it can be a hug. Sometimes it can just be someone acknowledging, like my sister Shalina was doing for me yesterday, because she don't even know, girl. I was really, really down in the dumps. And it just so happens I was talking to her, and everything that I was questioning my worth about, that's why I say God used her for my confirmation. She talked it to me. Say, girl, you've been doing this, doing that. Since I remember, you was inspiration to me since you were young, 19 and 20. You had your own house, had children young, and you've been holding that down. Like, so yeah, everything, because we tend not to give ourselves enough credit, enough due, and I know a lot of times we look for validation from others, but let me tell you, all these flowers that you grew, all the ones that you helped bloom and everything else like that, you might not even get them, baby. You're not gonna get what's due to you a lot of times. So that's why you gotta keep on rocking no matter who's rolling. And that was just confirmation for me to keep on going, sis. We all in this together. Stay encouraged. Yes, we are. We all in this together. Yes, we all. Yes, we are. And with that being said, just like I told you, if you ever want to be a guest, my sister Lena, she actually was one of the people that I used to reach out to the lady about the breast cancer and the breast cancer awareness. So see, look at that. Because I was saying, all of these people that supposed to be rocking with me, I said, yeah, come on, be a guest. Come on and talk. Blah, blah, blah. And I know how sometimes people's schedules are in conflict of that. But a lot of times, my schedule has been in conflict with things, you know what I'm saying? And I managed to make it happen because I know a person's passion or what their drive is, and that they're always there for people. So I'll be like, no, I gotta come through. I gotta show that love. But that's just me, and I don't take nothing away from nobody, if they're not able to do that. But my thing is, people just always saying, treat people how you want to be treated, and everything will be okay. But how many of us really do that? How many of us really do that? So yeah, don't wait on nobody else. No matter who is rolling, you just keep on rocking. You make sure that self-love and that strive for success is never stopping. And I'm telling you, your people will gravitate towards you, those ones who you need in life. You may think it was supposed to be certain people. You may think, but God will show you. So just like I always tell people, you are here, you are watching my legacy. And even though you watching me, I always say, watch God. Because when you see my name up in them Hollywood lights and you see, you gonna say, that's right, that girl spoken. And I'm gonna keep on telling you nothing but God. So let's get into some of these things that I wanted to bring up on the show, like what in the world? And I'll bring them up not to, because the topic of my show is watch your mouth. People do not understand the power that the tongue holds, and I choose to speak life. So this first topic that I'm going to be speaking about is not to, I mean, it already got all of the notoriety that it needs. This guy, he has a way of saying what he needs to say to get all the notoriety that he needs. But I respect him for having his own voice, having his own opinion. But you gotta watch your mouth. You gotta watch your mouth. How many times have we learned it's not what you say, it's how you say it. I had brought up previously about the podcast host who's being sued by the Sandy Hook families because he was on there all talking about it was a host and everything. It's like, and sometimes when you talk and stuff and people pay attention to you and you have a certain audience, you do not know how that impact can be it can be so detrimental to the whole situation. So yeah, Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, made some statements on the Drink Champions podcast that's hosted, one of the hosts, Noriega. Oh, I love Nori. Yes, I do. Made some comments about George Floyd and George Floyd's death. One of them that I seen, he basically was saying was like, oh, he wasn't even on his neck like that. Basically, he was alleging that his death more so stemmed from fentanyl being in the system than the actual knee on his neck by Derek Chauvin. I believe that's how you say his name. So that's what he was alleging. And people look at the show, not even that show at in the fact that it is a platform. I appreciate Drink Champs because is diverse. They have diverse topics. I watch them. I love them. It actually was a very good interview, in my opinion. But watch your mouth. You can't be just saying stuff like that about people, like I said. So it came out that the family lawyers of his daughter have served him with what is it? A cease and desist, like basically saying shut your mouth. They want him to refrain from speaking publicly at all about George Floyd's murder. They say that it is going to affect the daughter's estate and different things, they trying to do in remembrance of his name by putting that information out there as if it was fact. So I mean, yay, okay. We know they were reporting that George Floyd had a heart condition as well as had some issues with substance abuse. But the fact is that the cause of his death stemmed from the 9.5 minutes of this officer kneeling on his neck while he was saying he could not breathe. If it wasn't for that, it's not like he was sitting home and his heart condition or his drug issues, and he passed away. No, the fact is this incident happened, and as a result, he died. What they got to do with anything as a result? So I don't know. A lot of things he say is off the cuff. Y'all know I say yay, right? Because he said he changed his name. So it's Ye, formerly known as Kanye West. He wants everyone to call him Ye. So I'm going to call him Ye, respectfully. But respectfully, Ye, watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. A lot of people now are saying that, people are always giving him.
Don't respectfully do what a nutbag says.
You say what?
You do not respectfully do what a nutbag says.
Oh.
He is a nut job.
Oh,
he is absolutely ridiculous.
He is the nut job, right?
He's more shut his mouth than anybody else on this planet.
But I want to do what he don't do. And that's just like give some respect because, I just was floored. He already rubbed me some type
That is not what that lady that birthed him called him. His name is Kanye West.
It wasn't. But he wants to be.
So respectfully, your mom said this, and this is it.
Yes. And I know that if his mother was living, I don't think he would. And I think, because I feel for him, by the grace of God, I still have my mother. I always share my story that my mom has been battling cancers for 9 years, like going on 10 now. She's been in remission for one time. So I definitely can empathize with his situation. I know that. I know the love of your mother, and just the thought of losing mine drives me crazy. So I'm sure he has some trauma from losing his mother, but it's no excuse. I mean, Kanye, you to me statements about slavery as a choice. You and Candace Owens up there showing off. Candace Owens is coming out with a documentary blasting the Black Lives Matter movement. Like, why? Like, not saying it like that. Like, with all things, we know that there's issues, with organizations, whatever. But the fact that you are so adamant to state these things, her and Kanye, they had the White Lives Matter shirts or whatever. Like, you so adamant to put this negativity like out there about something that is supporting Black lives is like crazy to me. So yeah, my guy, my voice behind the scenes that always has the good logic. Yeah, I agree. Definitely a nut case. But we can't blame that mental illness on everything now. We can't do that. Like, I know you lost your mother. I know you're going through some things with Kim and everything else like that. But in my opinion, you just always, since you got with her, what happened to the Kanye right when your mother was like, what happened to the Kanye when it all falls down? Like, that was my joint. What happened to that? The Jesus walks Kanye. So Kanye is the legend that media and everything is ran by the Jewish mainstream and different people. I seen him making a comment because Nori since then has came out and did a public apology to the family, and just saying, he apologized because I guess these statements was made on his show. However, Kanye has already responded.
And do you see how that argument doesn't stand up when you always try to blame the media for a certain situation? Nori himself would now be a part of media because he hosts a show that is broadcast to millions of people.
But see,
Same thing for
Kanye was
us.
saying that
We host
they don't
shows that
cut
is
their
broadcast
check.
to the masses.
Yeah.
So you can't try to use that same logic to say that the media is owned by whatever, because this is Black owned. Nori's show is his show, Black owned. So that excuse doesn't go far no more. Especially when you're talking about between media sources, right? Because you did that on Nori's show. His show is his own and it's broadcast live. So it's not like you can actually say the media made that twist up. You said those words.
Right. You said those words. And basically what he's trying to say is that he's fighting for free thought, free expression. He feels that
but it's not free expression when your expression hurts others. That's what we try to fight against. Free expression when you hurt others is not the same thing as being expressing free will.
Yes.
Just to say.
I agree. He never should have said it. Even if he had an opinion or he felt like, different things contributed or whatever he was saying, I just don't even understand.
Because how do you explain to George Floyd's daughter what he said?
Yeah.
That the drugs in his system contributed to his death. Okay, so what? That's not the catalyst, though.
Right.
The catalyst was the knee.
That's the point that I'm making.
He would have walked away. He could have walked away, went home, and did whatever he wanted to do with the fentanyl in his system and his heart condition. That wasn't what was going to kill him. Right then and there, what killed him was that knee and the fact that he couldn't breathe.
Yes, for 9.5 minutes. So it's a bit insensitive, so I was like, okay, because I was seeing sources at first saying that the family was suing him. So I went and I did my research. So I didn't see where they were suing him for any amount of money, but rather than just serving him with this letter, I think it was cease and desist letters. Yes. Cease and desist. Yes, cease and desist letter, demanding he refrain from commenting publicly about anything. So they don't want him talking about it. They don't want him to talk about it. They want him to just shut up about it, mind your business, talk about your business. Kanye?
One, I think it's not a hard thing to talk about, like we're talking about it right now. It's not something that's hard to talk about. It's hard to talk about when you are talking as if you are an expert at what you're talking about, and you're not.
Oh my goodness.
Just because someone told you he had a heart condition and he had drugs in his system does not make you an expert. You heard that. You didn't diagnose that.
And that's what I'm saying, because in his comments, Monty, when he was talking to it, that's what he was saying, like about media. We need to stop listening what everybody's just telling us. We need to find on ourselves. But that's what they told you.
But that's the media's job. The media's job is to inform, whether it's informing wrong or not. That is your job as the person that's listening to the story to say whether the media is doing something wrong and then let them know that they're doing it. That's your job.
Yeah.
But it's not your job to mediate.
No. And just to make that blatant statement, because they had it in quotes. When I was reading it, to say like his knee wasn't even on his neck like that. What? Are you serious? Are you serious? I mean, somebody knee on my neck without those conditions, without having a heart condition, or without having substance abuse issues, could potentially kill you. So yeah, they determined that when they did Mr. Floyd's autopsy, but ultimately it was determined that his cause of death was asphyxiation. Like, he died from that. Like, he went into something. So what are you talking about?
All I need is for Kanye to release the name of his psych doctor.
Oh my goodness.
If he can,
ain't gonna get no
I will
business.
start listening to the words that are coming out of his mouth. But until I know what the regimen of pills he's taking and the doctor that's prescribed him, I don't want to hear nothing from him, because he's nuts.
Nuts.
And losing it every day a little bit more slowly. He wants everybody to dress up like they're wearing mud. And I'm not doing it. I don't want to dress dirty.
Tell me about it, the fashion designer. And then a lot of his like rebuttal and stuff, when I see people like questioning him about his statements, or saying something. I believe he was on one of the shows that I was listening to. I can't remember. And the first thing he said, what's your net worth? Right. So the guy was like, not as much as yours. He was like, right. Like, I'm one of the richest men. I'm the richest Black man in the world. So why would I listen to you? Like, what that got to do with anything? Money don't give you sense.
No, not at all.
Money don't give you intellect.
He can count his cents on his one hand.
Right. Money don't make you smart or make you able to make these type of comments and feel like they valid, or just because somebody is making less of you that they can't tell you about yourself. Because I'm right here and I'm telling you, yay, watch your mouth. You feel me? I'm officially counseling from my culture. You know, I'll be looking on social media. Some people, you know, they are fans of him. I'm a fan. I was a fan of his music.
Right, because you can be on
Yes.
artistic, not autistic.
But he's acting autistic.
I want to call him that too.
And
but
that's
an
no
artistic
that's
genius
no
at creating an art. You can be that.
And everything else like that. Yes, but he definitely got some stuff going on up there. But you can't keep on using that as your excuse. And my thing is, me personally, I know a person that goes through things and everything else like that. It's no way when I be going through some hurt or whatever, I want somebody else to feel like that. Like whatever it is.
I look at it from Jay-Z perspective. That ain't my friend.
Ah! So he's hurting. He's hurting. What they say, hurt people.
Right, but he had to distance himself from the crazy.
Oh my God.
That's why they not friends no more.
Look,
I can't do it. They both rich. One of them looks like they crazy, brand. And the other one is like, I'm not with him.
Right. I don't want to be a
part. How can next against your political beliefs got you to lose a friend? But it wasn't that. You snapped at some point.
Yes, you snapped at some point. And I believe that's why Kim also
right.
got away. She knew it was coming and she was like, oh no.
She dealt with it as long as she could.
And she was like, oh no, you are not going to affect my brain. And I also see that Kardashian, she got a podcast now as well. That started through she has partnered with Spotify for a podcast about facing and talking about injustice. So that was a little surprising to me to know, but you know, kudos to her. So that's the wave that she's on now, her little podcast, where she's interviewing people who have been, you know, unjustly incarcerated and everything else like that. So I was like, okay. I was watching a little bit of it. I guess what they say, like the what is it called? Like before a movie or whatever, like the trailer, I guess, of her podcast to be launched or whatever. And I was like, okay, she on there talking a little bit of sense and everything else like that. I was like, but they know how to uphold or try to uphold their brand, because when all that stuff came out, well, her and Ray J was like, I got these receipts and I'm gonna let it all leak. You know, just was alleging that all of that leak of that sex tape and everything else like that was planned, and that the mother and all of them, they knew they was filming and all that, you know, all that mess, you know, that had came out. So I was like,
I disagree with it being mess.
You disagree with what being mess?
No, just the whole entire situation being mess. They all knew.
Yeah,
so it's like you can't try to. I mean, I understand how Ray J was like trying to bring out receipts and all that kind of stuff.
Because they was making it seem like he was the bad guy.
But he still is. He was just as deceptive, and now you are even more deceptive to the people that you were in agreement with by disclosing.
You want to let it out,
right? So you was just as much involved in the deception to your fans as they were, and then you want to try to turn your back on your cohorts.
Yeah.
To get away with it. So you can make yourself look good. You are still a deceptive person.
Yeah, you is. But you know what he was saying is that he feel like even though they had did all this together, like on their platforms, like, you know, on the Kardashian shows and everything else like that, when other statements were made, he felt like he was being made out to be like the only one like that leaked it. Like they ain't know nothing about it. And he's saying,
but that was the agreement. That was the agreement.
That was the agreement. And he's
so you can't go back on it 20 years later and act like you wasn't involved. That was the agreement.
He made her crying on the show, acting like she's a victim.
That was the agreement. He signed up for that agreement. And he did not stop taking the sales of those daggone tapes. He didn't stop pocketing the sales of those tapes.
But every time they went up on sale. But he said it stopped everything else from down.
That is your agreement, your fault. Your ability to make money is your responsibility, not theirs. Their agreement was with you to make this sex tape, and that's period.
Period.
Now you wasn't making no money off of it. Your career was being lackluster. That's not their responsibility for you now. You to go back on your agreement with them.
Because they saying that he put him as a black man, like in a black light, like he just was so devious. This tape wasn't supposed to come out, but money. It was all coerced. Y'all was going to do this. The mother, everything. Ain't that wicked?
Absolutely.
To know that your mother.
That's another situation where he was trying to obfuscate his responsibility for it, trying to make himself look good. If you knew this was the agreement, you exposing that now, that's on you. It ain't gonna make you better. It doesn't make you look better because you still agreed to it.
Yeah.
You're trying to make them seem like they liars, but you are one too.
You want to.
And now you're devious. Now you're not just a liar, you're a devious liar because now you're trying to out what you knew you agreed to.
They do anything for clout.
And it still failed. So I'm not buying your album. There's no more music gonna be sold from Ray J. He had his one wish.
Oh my goodness, one wish. And people was wishing. I know he wished that he never get on that Versus. Talking about Versus, what's been going on with the Versus? But yeah, that one wish. I know he wish he never got on there because he was able to. He was exposed. Look, this big exposed right now. He was exposed, baby, with that voice. Yeah, Brandy little brother. A mess. But let me just also get into some things that's going on here in Baltimore. Prayers definitely go out to the 40-year-old bus driver, MTA bus driver, Miss Elaine Jackson, who was killed on her job site on Tuesday. We didn't hear about anything about it until Wednesday, which was yesterday, I believe. But allegedly, the assailant who shot and killed this lady, mother of 4, is so sad, waited for her until she arrived at work and shot her up. You know, people were saying that you're not allowed to be on this yard or this parking lot or have access to this yard unless you're an employee. So I don't know. It's a whole bunch of questions. How do things like this happen? I know the MTA has its own police. You would think that they have police on the yard. You would think that they do checks like this. And my thing, when things are continuing to happen, because that's making me think about Mr. Marcus Park Sr., who was on duty during the COVID and was shot. Like, they gotta get these bus drivers some protection. I don't know. You know, stuff be feeling extreme, just like how I be saying, like with all the death and the murders here in Baltimore. But it's so extreme that we got to start doing extreme measures. And this definitely should not have happened. Yeah, she was shot multiple times in the Washington Boulevard MTA busing station. And it's just sad. It's a tragedy. You know, my heart, my prayers, my deepest condolences go out to her children, her families, all her loved ones that she left behind, in addition to all of her co-workers, because I know that's something else. That's something else. I seen one of her co-workers is making a statement saying, you know, he was like actually leaving the yard. He seen police rushing down to the location, but did not at all think they were going to his job. And they were informed over the radio to, I guess, come into another entrance because something had happened. And a lot of them, when they returned to find out that this was their beloved coworker and friend, were devastated. I've seen some images of her shared on social media. They say that she was always loving, always dancing. And when I was watching them, I was smiling, but tears just definitely came to my eyes because I was like, wow, you know, to think you showing up at work. You know, my speculations, of course, I'm thinking it was personal, you know, if the person waited for her to come to work, but I don't know, don't want to speak on it too much, just out of respect for the family and to, you know, more things come out, as well as just not knowing. And now there's an ongoing investigation. For the life of me, I'm not understanding, like, MTA in the yard. Where's the cameras? Where was the MTA police? Even in instances like that. Like, if y'all need a police car to be following a bus or one sitting at, like, come on, like, get on it. Like, get on it. Do something, because this should not be happening. It should not be happening. So y'all just see what's going on, keep your listening ear out for that, because it's always sad. When you hear of such tragedies, and it's like, wow, how does that happen? And I think about that every time. When I'm hearing something on the news, typically in the morning, I'm not able to like actually watch it, but I'm listening. And then when you hear about all of this death and everything, every day I try to wake up and renew my spirit for a new day. When I open my eyes, I give God all the ultimate thanks. And it be just things like that that makes me always acknowledge how grateful I am and how blessed I am to be alive. And I encourage you all to do the same. No, we don't like to see tragedies like this happen and everything else like that. But if you are living today, because living in the city and the way things are happening, even returning back to your home when you leave out in the morning, even being able to pick your children up from school and get them home is such a blessing. One that, we got so many blessings that we don't even acknowledge. So yes, there's so much still for us to pray for, but so much for us to be grateful for. So rest in peace to the sister, Elaine Jackson. And it just brought up memories of Marcus Parks Sr., whose anniversary of his death just came up. He was also murdered in 10/08 of 2020. Her death being 10/18/2022. And I'm like, okay, 2 years later, another, even though it was in different, contexts, I guess he was on duty, she was on her way to be on duty. But just my thought of this being the biggest transportation service here, the MTA, y'all have your own police. How does this happen? How does someone get on a yard and sit and wait when people are not supposed to have access to the yard? So I don't know if it was an employee. I just don't know. But like, how does someone get in here and sit and wait, and no police, no MTA police are on this yard? No one is around to monitor the safety, the security of the workers coming in and out of this station. Like, I don't know. I have so many questions. So yeah, that's one of those. That's your news, our views, and we are definitely going to be talking about that more. But how does that happen? How does that happen? Is a disgrace. People should not be losing their lives daily like this in Baltimore City. They should not. But the fact that this lady was going to work and someone sat there and waited for her to show up and shot her multiple times and killing her is just a mess. Like, some stuff, just be happening. And when you hear about it, you just be at a loss of words. That's how I was about the brother Marcus Parks Sr. I know some of his family personally. I believe when it happened, I might have just met them not too long before that. But I remember when it first happened, I didn't even put two and two together that was their peoples, and then like on the anniversary date, like these people was taken away, going to work, taken away from their families, senselessly. Mr. Marcus Parks Sr., those unfamiliar, he was gunned down while he was on duty. He got into an altercation with a passenger trying to board the bus. When I guess it was at the last stop, he told the guy he could not. The guy snatched his bag of some sort. The guy shot him. I believe 2 people were arrested for that murder. I hope he definitely gets justice, and I pray the same for Miss Jackson, because she's left 4 children behind, stemming from the ages of 7 through 22. So yes, it's definitely is a sad day. It's a sad day. Every day. It's so many days that's sad, but I'm just so glad, and I hope that you are so glad that you are living today. And let these instances just remind you of how blessed you are and how real it is out here, and that this is real life. And at any moment, like they say, no one knows the day, the time, or the hour. You don't know what the situation or circumstances will be, to how God will call you home. So that why I feel that it's my purpose to be here every Thursday and telling you that, guess what? We know what it is and we know what it gives, but it's more to life than dying. So you better live. You hear me? You better live. I gave my little update on Brittany Griner. She's going to be going next week for her appeal case. Keep your eyes and your ears. We talked about Anon Saeed. The brother is already getting back to some type of normal functioning in his life. I know that is a struggle, but I know that it does not equate to all of the struggles that he had of being detained unjustly for over 20 years. So yeah, the brother's out. He's giving lectures. And I'm just glad to see that he's allowing his pain to strive him towards his purpose. But with all that sad news, let me just talk about something else I said here in Baltimore City that I wanted to bring up on this show. Like, y'all, what is going on with all these speed cameras, all these red light cameras and these speed cameras? And I understand it's about the safety of individuals. Everybody want to be safe. Yes, people do be speeding and all that other stuff, right? But my thing is, well, for people that don't know, because I like to educate, right? People don't know, most of the speed cameras are in the areas of schools, and they operate Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. So if it's after 8 p.m. and you're coming past these things, why I'm bringing it up, because look, it's supposed to be safer, but people be like slamming on the brakes. Just slow down. It does not clock you until you are at least 12 miles over the speed limit. But the issue that I had with them is that it seems like everywhere they are is a hill. Like, I was testing stuff. One of them up on, what is that? I think there's Wind Falls, right? I started the light. I just took my foot out the brake. I ain't even do nothing. I ain't put no gas on it or nothing. I said, I'm going to see. I just took my foot out the brake, let it just drift. By the time it roll you over that hill when you going down that baby, your car get to riding to 40 and you got to brake, because it's going to give you that ticket. So to me, it's like in some other spots, it's like they strategically put them there to try to catch people with this speed and stuff. Even the fact, like how when they was reporting that when they put the speed camera up on 83, in the first week, they had like reported over 500 and something thousand people where they sent out these notices that they were speeding, when they get a 30-day like grace period. And then after that, I think the second week it was like 200 and something thousand. Like a couple of people, they was clocking at 117 miles per hour. I mean, like ridiculous. People know that 83 is a mess. Yes, it is. But my thing is, and what I felt interested in, is that a lot of these cameras and stuff that is going up, supposed to be for our safety, are to either be temporary, a rotating, or permanent basis. And when they put them up, they're not taking them down. Just like the red light stop cameras. Do y'all remember back in, I believe, 2003, it was a lot of controversy because a lot of them wasn't right or whatever was going on. But yeah, our city has spent $11.7 million to add 45 more speed and red light cameras. So currently we have 165 speed cameras in Baltimore City alone, and 155 red light cameras. So yeah, they definitely giving y'all them tickets, y'all. And then if you get the ticket, is no penalty with I guess the parking enforcement, whoever, traffic enforcement or whatever, if the fee is late, but if you don't pay it on time, they send it to motor vehicle and they flag your car. $30. So pay them on time. But my advice is don't speed. But I was bringing that to say, like, I really believe that they strategically put these in a whole bunch of spots where they know they are going to catch a whole bunch of people. Like, I know that the fact that it was speed in there and the way that they reported is that, they do their investigations. And a lot of times is in areas where people have complained about speeding or several accidents. I get it, but dang, in some spots they got one right here, and then it's not even like 100 yards. They got another one, like back to back to back, or they got the speed camera, and then at the intersection, they also have the red light camera. Like, and I'm not no person. I don't think I drive fast or whatever. I have gotten a few. I didn't know that if you didn't pay them on time through the traffic enforcement, that NBA will be flagging you on that. So that was just like crazy to me. But all of this is under the initiative of the Safe Speed Automatic Enforcement Program, which was authorized by the Maryland General Assembly under Maryland Transit Article 21-809. So that is why all of this is being able to happen. That if you speed, you get a $40 fine. The red light, I believe, is $75. But how do y'all feel like that? I feel like it's too much. It's too much. Y'all need to put some. I understand about the speed, and I understand accidents. People die accidents every day. My little sister died in an accident. So I'm just always have anxieties about, speed, and I understand that. But people are dying every day here from murders. Y'all not finding. I mean, I gave Baltimore City kudos, I think, a couple of weeks ago, the detectives and everything, because what I noticed is that there has been a lot more arrests, far as like murders and everything else like that, a lot more of those. But put up some cameras that's going to be catching this crime. People be saying there's an invasion of privacy or whatever like that, but no, those intersections where that it's crime, it's what put them up there. But these speed cameras, that doesn't, I ain't gonna say doesn't help anybody, but it's just really like in the areas like that is affecting us, like the people who already don't got it. We already don't got it. We already don't got it. Y'all put up all these damn speed cameras, all these red light running cameras. You know what I mean? And it's just crazy. It's crazy. Use that money for something else. I don't know about, how about fix the roads? Fix the fucking roads, fix the potholes, fix the what's your name. We was giving kudos to Sheila Dixon last week on the show too. And that's one thing I'm gonna say. Sheila ain't play about the city. She loved this city. And she definitely did her business while she was in there to make sure that it was beautified. Like, I don't remember, like, L Streets was messed up, but when she was in there, she used to be getting this stuff fixed. Side streets, all of that. It wasn't all this trash laying around, none of that in the city. She ain't play that. She did not. You know what I'm saying? When she was in there, it was these trash days. It was coming to get trash. I just always saying she always was doing community cleanups, like all of that. She ain't play that. But a couple of these other mans, when they done got in there, and I don't mean no harm, a lot of these people that work for the city and different, especially in the sanitation, I guess, department, they don't be doing nothing. They don't be doing shit. Like real life. They don't. I don't get it. How they get away with it. I know a lot of times in areas and stuff, people would still, we got a lot of that dumping illegally and all that kind of on. But some of this stuff, this trash be sitting around for days. How these streets raggedy like this? How? Raggedy as shit. And y'all want to keep on charging people for speed and different. Come on. It's too many damn cameras. 165. 165 speed cameras. 155 red light cameras. I really can understand them and stuff like that by the schools in the district. Yeah, we want our kids to be safe. I really can understand that. But all these cameras y'all got set up on these hills and whatever else like that. That's what I'm saying. Where y'all put them at though. See, y'all put them in areas where y'all know. So my thing is, while y'all was doing y'all research about the speeding and whatever, so that somebody had to go around and do that and say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna put this right here. Catch we gonna catch him right here. Oh yeah, on this right. Oh yeah, it ain't no turning. Don't turn. Don't make this right hand turn right here." Like just some stuff they got in some signs. I would just be like, "Why? Why I can't turn right here? Why I can't make no right here?" And T4, I'm just sitting here. Ain't nothing coming. Ain't nothing. Why? Why? Lead by example, Baltimore City. Y'all want them to drive safely on these streets. Fix these streets up. Because these potholes and stuff be throwing me too. So even when I be trying to not, slow down and stuff like that, you go on the pup hole, boom, that thing hydroplane you. I'm trying to tell you. So yeah. I don't know. What y'all think? Y'all like I don't know nobody who like getting a ticket. But at the end of the day, it's just too much. I feel like they could have used that money on that transportation side for something else, even for like this safe speed automated enforcement thing or whatever I say that. I mean, what are you doing? But of course, it stops people from speeding when they know that they're going to get this ticket, but it's just too many of them. I don't know.
I kind of see your point.
It's just too many of them. You kind of see yourself,
especially with the hill thing. Especially with the hill thing.
I can't really get it out like I want to. Like, it's up there, but I'm like, wait, it's just too many of them. I understand the necessity. Yes, we do want people to be safe. And then, like I was saying, especially up here by these schools and everything else like that. But at the same time, like, they everywhere. They everywhere.
I do see your point. I see your point.
They everywhere. 165.
Especially the one when you're talking about the hills. Yeah.
9 times out of 10. And just like I told somebody, I hope somebody else out here listening and watching or whatever. Like I said, smack me if I'm lying. Everywhere is always like on a stretch of road, and they strategically put them like where's a hill, all of that. Like, and a lot of them too. Like, if you come up on an incline and you go down, I know one of them they got up there. What's that on Urban Avenue? That one's like that. And then they got like 2 on back to back. Like, they not even 100. They're not even a football like a like why? So all right, I ain't gonna catch you right there. So if you slow down right there and I don't catch you right there, we definitely gonna catch him right here. So yeah, when y'all did y'all research, I know y'all did all that too, and I don't care what they say. I know they did. I know that they did. I don't like them. But like, I also know that
I don't think anybody likes them.
Nobody likes them. But then I also know, I
can't wait to find the person. I want to hear the person that you find that says, I really like the cameras.
I really like the cameras. Likes them. I really like the cameras. Like I say, I can see the necessity of them in the school zone.
Right. You can see why they are needed, but at the same time, I understand exactly what you mean.
Why so excessive though?
Right, like why so many?
Why so many? And then why are they like strategically in these spots? Like where I was talking about, just was giving that one example, like on Gwen Falls, like the speed limit is 25. It's 25 miles per hour. And like I say, I did my own test. Like, you know what? I ain't even gonna put no gas or whatever just to see if I ain't got a break. Cause I think I got like 2 tickets fixed there. One of them I disputed because I wasn't even 12 miles over. And that's another thing, because they say that these people are trained. They train all.
That's what I want to see. I want to see the research, which was what was done on each one of these. I mean, I really would like to know what made them put cameras in certain places.
That's
if there was, especially if there was no accident problem and things like that.
I don't remember it being that many accidents. I don't know. Like,
well, you weren't there 24/7, but I'm just saying, I would like to see the research on what the accident rate was for why you put this camera here. Because what it sounds like is that you're still trying to chinch money off the citizens.
And
to make a revenue pot for the city, and I'm not here for that.
Right. And then I also had looked into like, okay, well, what they use the money for when they get it from taxes. They say, I mean, when they get it from these citations that they issue, they say that they use it for the operation of the cameras, like the maintenance of the cameras, as well as
No, we're not going to use money to pay for the system.
Yeah.
If it will make money,
That's
then
what
we're
they
going to use it to
say.
make money. That
That's
you're
what
not
they
going to
say.
use
That's
the
what I'm
money
saying.
to
Make it make
maintenance the
sense.
cameras. That sounds crazy.
Yeah.
The only people that's making money is the camera people,
But
not
make
the
it
city.
make sense. So
That
wouldn't
doesn't make
it
sense. I hope that's not. I hope
Right.
that's not what's
I
happening.
swear to goodness. I swear to goodness. I will bring it back to you next week and let you know my sources.
You're not charging me $75.
Yes,
to
they say they
fix
use
a
it for the
camera.
operation and peep this money. They supposed to use it for the operation of it, the maintenance of it, and to fix the roads. So again, these streets, a lot of these streets,
They could put an iPhone on a pole and
and a lot of these streets where they have these cameras, the roads is messed up. You know, lately I've been doing a lot of driving in like Baltimore County. I've been in Ellicott City and everything else like that. So y'all be doing a little flexing, y'all, but ain't no flex. So I done had 3 flat tires and different tires in 4 days. So I said, if they ain't God's way of telling me, girl, sit down, get back to doing this and put your more what's your name in this. This is what you're supposed to be doing. But hey, you know, sometimes it panic. You panic, y'all, because when you're used to having certain things and used to having money, whatever, you know, you panic. But I just pray every day that God keeps my faith and not it's faith over fear. So it's like faith over what's in my face. And like I said, I got some things in my face right now, baby. And I'm trying not I can't turn my head on it. So it's like I'm looking full ahead, baby, but I'm like, whoo, I am looking for the light out of this darkness. But yeah, they supposed to just use these fees to operate the system and supposed to be to repair the roads. So it don't make no sense to me. I can understand the necessity of it for the safety, like how we were saying by the school zones and everything else like that. But why so excessive?
But you know what? I can't
excessive?
let them always, you know, I just playing devil advocate real quick because you can't even let them put the bill sometimes on why the roads look the way they look these days. Because you'll come driving down a road. I'm gonna use this one in particular because it just got finished being repaved. Fulton right there. Fulton and Baltimore Street used to be the worst street in almost the whole entire city. It was at first. They just repaved it over. But I'm telling you, mark my words, BG&E is going to come back and dig that road right on up.
Dig that road up. Oh my goodness.
Just because they got to add another line to another new residence or something like that. But they're going to dig that road up. And when they cover that road back up, it's going to be a mess again.
It's going to be a mess.
They don't care. All they doing is trying to figure out how to discover what they just dug up. They don't care about it being back the way what they left it.
Nope.
And that's what the city needs to crack down on, holding these contractors responsible for when they dig up something, they need to put that street back the way they found it.
Right. And I also agree with so much traffic, especially with so much commercial trucking and stuff like that coming through our city and different stuff like that on the roads. I also believe that they need to put their phone down on making them contribute to it too. Because it's a lot of like, you know, commercial trucks and stuff like that is allowed to come through our city that's like unlikely and unheard of.
Or super heavy, which is why their streets buckle under them.
Exactly. So I don't know if they have to contribute to maintaining it. I doubt it. But yeah, this city gotta find some other ways to get money and maintain things without
these are supposed to be intelligent people. Look, I fault the city with that part too, about the heaviness of these trucks that are coming through here, right? These people are supposed to be the technicians, the engineers, the people that are deciding what these roads are made of. But you decide to put down a tar-based strip of road.
Yeah.
And then put a heavy 6-ton truck on top of it and think that's not going to buckle.
And think it's going to hold.
And this is not my profession. I'm not a scientist in any way. But what I'm understanding is you put a 6-ton truck on rubber, it's going to buckle.
Constantly. You put it on it constantly. Constantly. And the piggyback on what you were saying or whatever, and about how BG be digging them up or whatever. So that I always say that, like, to me, it seemed like I've been living in Baltimore City all my life, but it always seems to me they always repaving, refixing the same street.
That's what I'm saying.
How many times
They always repave the street.
over?
They do their due diligence when it comes to, like I said, when it comes to repaving a street. Like they try to do it, but as soon as they do it, it's torn back up by either a contractor or, I say this, snowplows.
Yes.
Another contract-based thing.
These streets is a mess. These streets is a mess. They really is a mess.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, and even in driving, you know, and some people speeding or whatever, if you can't even drive straight, people going around the holes or whatever, trying to, you know, stop it and everything from affecting their car. But like I said, I've been doing a lot of more driving out in these counties and stuff like that, and their roads ain't like that. And then even just to piggyback on like the speed cameras and stuff like that, like I was in areas, you know, where it was schools and all that. They might have had a speed camera, but it was one. It might have been back on a road. It wasn't intentionally placed on no hill. It might have been like at the intersection or whatever. So that's, I just was like, they just crazy. So just even considering that they saying that what the citation fees are used for, I'm like, wouldn't it be like if that's the case, wouldn't you think that they would do this on purpose if I'm gonna get all the money? Because, you know, years back, it was a whole bunch of issues with the cameras where they was catching people and sending them citations that wasn't right. Just like I told you, I'm not too long ago fought one where when I found out what the facts was, like, oh, you gotta be 12 miles over. So why am I getting the citation and I only was 7? No, but then y'all say that y'all train people, authorized people, police and all this to read them. It takes 2 weeks for them to review all the citations. That was another thing where I was like confused about, even with like that grace period that they had when they put the one up on 83. Like y'all wasted all this money to send these citations out. Like y'all already announced it on the news. We can just tell people, okay, it's a 30-day grace period. Y'all wasted all this money to everybody that y'all caught speeding to over 200,000 people. No, that was the second week. I think the first week it was 500 and something thousand. No, I'm sorry, 55,682. Look, y'all, I was putting 100 on 10, a whole bunch. Why not? But it was 50 there. Hey, Mike, blessings. What it is? Love, peace, and blessings, bro, all the time. Thanks for joining me. So we was talking about these speed light cameras. That's ridiculous. Don't speed bike. Don't run no red lights. Read the signs. Don't turn on right. If it say to full whatever school, don't do it. Don't do it. They sending out these tickets. But yeah, the first week when they put that those cameras up on 83 and it was that 30-minute grace period, they report that the first week it was 55,682 warning citations. So the citations were sent out basically saying you were here, you were speeding, but this is not a penalty fee or anything you have to pay. If you do it after this grace period, you will have to pay this $40. That was the first week. The second week, it was 28,250 sent down. So after y'all announced it, like to me, that was a waste too. The city, y'all just be wasting money. Y'all, why? Y'all send out all these citations and tell them, up, this is what you was doing. Don't do it. In 30 days, you're going to be charged if you do it. This is going to be the fee. Y'all already announced it. Everybody was already aware. Like, what? Like, who? We making all these decisions for real. Like, who be there? And talking about decisions, and it's always puzzling me. These bike lanes, these busing these bike lanes. Like, what's up with this? To me, you know, I guess they say that they put them into existence again to make things more safer, but it's more dangerous to me. And that bus lane up on North Avenue, they are expecting buses and bikes to share the same lane. I seen the other day riding on North Avenue. It was a young brother. He was on a scooter. And so the bus, I guess, couldn't even proceed, I guess, at their normal speed that it was because he was in front of the bus. But that's legal. Then we are like in this middle tight old lane. And when I make a right-hand turn, I gotta watch this bus. I gotta sit in this middle lane and hold up traffic because I see this bus with this light left signal that he ready to pull out. So I gotta sit here and wait just to make this right-hand turn. It's crazy. And then these bike lanes, and then also these other, like all of them are not bike lanes, but like the lower poles and stuff, like they got on the corners on all the ones that they did change, like Pennsylvania Avenue that turns into Ricestown Road, like right there on the side of Mondawmin. They changed that into one lane. You can no longer make that left-hand turn if you're coming down onto Glen Falls. And then when you are coming off Glen Falls and you go to make that right on Pennsylvania Avenue, they have these poles like at the intersection. I guess it's to like prevent people, no car can speed in, but you have to like go all the way out. I got a big truck, right? Big old boy, my big Roddy OG by Suburban, but he's still holding for me. You heard me. And I gotta go out and make this big old right. But when you go out and make this big old right, you come in, you like coming into the traffic right there, they got the line back a little bit where people supposed to stop so that this don't happen. But even when they are back at the line, it's still so very close. It's like you gotta whip your car real fast to come back so you don't go over there. Like it's just too tight. So all of this stuff, a lot of it that they got lined up that supposed to be like more safe for us, in my opinion, is made some of these roads more dangerous. The speed cameras, why I say like in some damages, because people are afraid, they have anxieties of getting the tickets. What I notice is that people go past them, you just see, or people automatically slam on brakes, boom, or makes another person slam on brakes, boom. So to me, that's dangerous. I do see the necessity of it being in the school zones, but what's the purpose of having them on hills and having them multiple ones so close together? Like you definitely trying to catch somebody. Or I couldn't get them right here. I'm gonna get them right here. Also on these red lights or whatever. And I just see so many. It's so many of them in Baltimore City. You don't see it anywhere else in any other counties. Other ones who have adapted this safe speed automatic enforcement program. You just don't see as many. These bike and these bus lanes, they just a mess. A lot of these roads, they turn from 2 lanes or even 3 lanes, like Center Street. Century, you say Center or Century, I don't know. Y'all know the one turning to Monument Street. CNTRE. That at one time, I think was like 3 lanes. That's now is 1. Traffic is just be such a mess. It be just so backed up. Like, who? I don't remember them discussing this when this happened. It's like, I just woke up, went to go ride that way that day, and it was like, what in the world is this? Just like that mess that they got up there that they did on the side of Montebello. All that time they had that Harford Road. All that time they had that shut down, right? And then they finally opened it up. So I was pleased that I was able to ride straight up Harford Road, but I went through there like, this is ugly. All these white poles, all these black, I don't know. It's just ugly. It don't look nice. It just was ugly. So they changed that too into a one lane road. The bike lanes are right there. And it's crazy to me because they got all these bike lanes all over the place and you hardly see anybody riding any bikes. So I guess whoever these organizations or bike riders or, who were people pushing for their rights or whatever else is the case, like I can understand that too, because, a lot of people were getting hit and stuff like that was riding bikes, whatever like that. But y'all should have came up with another plan because these roads, this traffic was already a mess. This traffic is still a mess. A lot of these roads that they did it like that, they got us parking right in the middle of the street. They got these bike lanes on the left side. So when you make the left turn, you got to watch out for the bike riders. Make sure there ain't nobody coming on the street. I mean, you was always watching, but you really have to do it now. But the only good thing I can say about that is when I'm driving is that you hardly see people riding any bikes. So why so many of them? Why so many of them? And why you couldn't have another design? And I know you see the ones that has already been up for some time. They already damaged. They plastic, so people hit them, people ride through them, they already damaged. And now the city gonna have to spend more money to repair them. A lot of them that hadn't even been up for long. They changed Monument Street into that one lane. Like I said, center that come to Monument Street. I think once it passes under Falls Way, it turns back into multiple lanes. But whoever is in traffic enforcement, whatever, that's making these decisions, y'all need somebody else. Like for real, y'all got a whole bunch of yes ma'am people, yes sir people around y'all, because I don't know who the head of it. But I would love to know when they holding these meetings or whatever, so that, because I would like to have something to say, because a lot of this stuff need to go back the way it was. I know things are evolving and always changing and whatever else like that, but I don't see how they help, especially these bus lanes on North Avenue, that whole lane that's red. I guess it helps the buses to be able to get places in a more more timely manner, whatever else like that. It gives them, the opportunity to sit there, let people board the bus. People ain't got to wait behind the bus. I know some of that was the issues too. People were stepping out in front of buses, whatever. So the same stuff still is happening. I'm trying to understand why y'all change it? Why they do that? Why they do that? That's how I felt about the bus routes. I always tell people now, if I had to get on the bus, if I'm not driving my car and I have to utilize any type of public transportation, if I can't get on the subway or the light rail or walk, I ain't doing it, because I'd be totally confused with the bus. I don't know nothing about no bus. See, when I was jumping on the bus, it was 23, 13, the 11, everything else like that. All these buses now, the routes and everything else, I don't know. It looks like they mimicking the bus system in DC, like with the colors, also with the bus lanes. They changed their uniform shirts from blue to red. They got these big red lines in the street. I see them out there too, waste the money, because they out there like every 60 days repainting these red bus lanes, putting the. So I'm like, okay, all right. But I also see that they are like trying to enhance at certain stops and have like elevated bus stops and stuff, where like the bus doesn't have to like put down the things to let people on. It's like a lift that actually lifts you up to the bus level and lets you get on there. But yeah, it's just too money. And if anything in this city, in my opinion, know how to do is waste money. It's waste money, and y'all just be agreeing with anything. Y'all be agreeing with anything. So that's why I'm always refreshed to see when there's new people and stuff like that that's trying to run inside of these city governments, that's, fighting a cause for change, and they just doing anything that just sound good, or because I guess backed in the corner to, I don't know, y'all. But I'm gonna move on. Y'all know that the Artscape, did it happen this year? Yeah, it did. Did it? Yeah, it did. But anyway, Artscape is coming back in 2023. It's going to move from free. Huh?
It didn't happen.
It didn't happen this year. Yeah, it did not happen this year. But they announced today, I'm gonna give y'all the backstory of it, that it will be happening next year. Artscape 2023 will be happening. It's extended. It's supposed to have been for 5 days. I'm looking at the dates. I believe it's only for 4 days now, and it's moving. It's usually in mid-August, but then they're moving it to late September. It was some earlier announcement that Artscape would be held September the 13th through the 17th. However, our Jewish population, which is 100,000 here, we have the largest concentration of Jewish residents in the United States. 100,000 people living in Pikesville, Owens Mills, Chatsworth, and Mount Vernon. So, what they say the Jewish people, they run it. But anyway, they received some backlash, stating that it was running the same time that their Jewish New Year. So their Jewish New Year next year is 9/15 to 9/17. Their Jewish New Year changes every year. It changes every year. So it's not the same date. So it just was crazy to me how, I guess they felt some type of way about it. So at first it was like up on the site saying that it would be September the 13th through the 17th. But it just was announced today, Mayor Brandon Scott, that it actually will happen on 9/20. So they pushed it back. They pushed it back because of some of this backlash that they were getting from our Jewish community. Is their Jewish New Year is Rosh Hashanah. I know I ain't saying that correctly, but it's the first day of the Tashan, the month on the Hebrew calendar. It usually does fall in September or October, but it's a different date every year. So my thing is, how would the city, the department who plans this artscape, knew that? I don't know if they were real knowledgeable in the holidays or whatever else like that, but I don't think they were purposely trying to let it, affect the Jewish community's ability to participate. But in a lot of instances, that's how it was been. Like they felt some type of way, like, oh, that's our New Year. How we gonna come? So I'm like, okay, on your New Year, I know that New Year is celebrated, with prayer, special foods, just like how we do in our cultures and several other cultures. But I was saying, like, nothing still don't stop y'all from coming or celebrating. I really didn't get that part. But however, yeah, the city took heed and they changed them dates. Based on their complaints. And I just was like really shocked to learn that we had the largest concentration of them in the whole United States. I was really shocked about that. So that said a lot. I was like, oh yeah, they making moves. They is making moves. Again, their New Year is celebrated with symbolic food, prayers. They had special services and blowing of their traditional horns. So, in their New Year celebration, they do a lot of things that's similar to other folks. And I just don't understand why they had so much an issue of this artscape being held at the same time as their Jewish New Year. But guess what? They changed it. They changed it based on what they were saying. They changed it. So Artscape 2023 is going to run starting 9/20. I think through 9/24 because now they're saying 4 days. First it was 5. Me and my producer, Marnie, we was talking about it. I just was sharing a little bit of what I was going to talk about on the show. And he was making a point like, now, why would they change it first from mid-August to late September? Like, that is going to stop a lot of, students from participating. I don't know exactly what those dates are, even when, the dates, a lot of people don't work on the weekend. I'm not sure if those dates start on the weekend. 4 days, the weekend is usually what, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. People consider, so I gotta look and see when 9/20 start and when it stops. Because first it's supposed to be 4 days. So yeah, the Jewish community, they felt some type of way that it was the same days initially as their New Year, but at the same time, the dates and them changing it is going to be also stopping a lot of people, I'm sure, from participating. So I don't know what that is about, but it definitely is an awesome event. I like to go to Artscape. But the parking, look, I'm going back to the park. The streets be horrible. So if you ain't no walker, then that ain't the event for you. But hopefully y'all still come out, y'all support the Artscape here in Baltimore City. I love to see it. I love to see people come out. I be loving all of the performances, all of the displays of art, the creativity just be amazing. I love it. I like to go and see the people with all jewelry, the painting, and like to see the performing arts, just everything. And to me, it's just one of those historic events that happens here in Baltimore City that casts a lot of, positivity. Hey, baby, look, he coming to wish name, gotta give him a hug. Hold on, okay, go ahead over there. Look, I got the thing, and like, why the kids don't listen? I tell them every time before I get on here. Every time. But I'm a mama, though. Every time I tell him, he always jumping around. He just now stomped his toe or something like that. That's my fly guy, Jai. He always jumping around. He always hurt himself. I never seen somebody that's so active. Loves Spider-Man so much, jump all around. Think he's Spider-Man, but he's an awesome guy. But soon as he get a little bump, that's what he do. He whine, he cry, he act like it's the worst. And Lord forbid,
It is the worst.
Lord forbid, he get a scratch or a drop of blood. He gonna act like his stuff.
Cries and I put a band-aid on that.
Yeah, he cries and put a band-aid on it. But okay, baby, be quiet so mommy can finish the show. But but yeah, make sure y'all come out and y'all support the Artscape of 2023. It has been moved. Hopefully, don't nobody else have no complaints. But it's looking like any complaints from anybody else ain't gonna make nothing move anyway. But if the Jewish community complain, it make it move. So I need to go get some connection with them because I just don't understand. I don't understand the significance of changing it because it was within their holidays, and I also don't understand why they would move it from mid-August when there's no school. Everybody can participate to late September. Like I don't understand that. It's gonna be colder. The weather is gonna be different.
Well, I understand. Now to clear up my point, I didn't understand why they moved it from the summertime.
You did. Why?
Now I do get why they moved it from the date of their New Year holiday. I mean, their New Year. That's a holiday for them.
Right, it is.
And that would conflict. The Artscape would conflict with their holiday when they also frequent Artscape. They are big art buyers. The Jewish community.
I know they're big art buyers, but what I'm saying is that okay, even with it being their holiday, like is like they are able. So what during their holiday they can't celebrate? They can't go nowhere.
I think it's because they do their own celebration together as family. That's what their whole New Year is. Just like how we do it on January 1, we typically do ours with family.
Yeah, I know, but they don't stop us from coming out the house.
Right, but why would you go to a parade? Why would you go to an event on your holiday?
But your holiday from, mind you, they celebrate their holiday, what, 2 days. So when you say it's yours New Year, they start celebration. They start that celebration.
Right. All right. But so say for instance, what are you going to do? What would you do instead then on July 4th? If Artscape was on July 4th, are you going to Artscape or are you going to your family's cookout?
I would go to either, but if it was multiple days,
you wouldn't go to either. You would go to your family cookout.
Get your point, when you put it like that. But
So why would you go if it's your New Year and you're supposed to be spending with your family? Why would you be showing up at Artscape?
Right, but Artscape is like a time frame. It run all day. You know what I'm saying? I could see if in celebration of their holiday, it was like restrictions where they didn't come out the house because they have certain things like that and things that they celebrate where they restrain from certain stuff. So now that you mention that, that may be part of it.
Right.
They might not be able to engage in which name because I know that it is part of their religion. Like on certain days to restrain from stuff, like
it's like a day of rest.
Right. Like on Sundays, they don't drive cars. I believe like in different things like that. So you go into these communities where a lot of them are Jewish populated, you'll see them walking. They do have certain stuff. So now okay, now that you say it, okay, I can understand it.
Not to mention, I said there are a lot of art buyers, but there are actually a lot of Jewish artists themselves too. So
right,
it's on both sides.
They are. So, and that's another thing too. I'm thinking that a lot of people that live around that way, because like they said, it's a lot of them that's like in Mount Washington and different stuff like that. Mount Washington, Pikesville, Owensville, Churchwell, but a lot of them
Park Heights,
and they still come and they still frequent the city. So now that you say it like that, right? I'm sure it was that. I'm sure that it probably was a lot of Jewish, artists or people who were looking forward to participating in Artscape, who, are that.
Not just that, the benefit, most of the damn benefactors of Micah are Jewish.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, baby. They run it. They run it. So guess what? They was like, they probably getting a whole bunch of, some different funding. from them as well. So yeah, they made it happen. So guess what? Everyone's happy, and they'll get to celebrate their New Year. And then
my gripe was that it wasn't. I don't know why they moved it out of the summer, which most of the students are not in class.
Yeah, and
don't have to worry about building a major project during their school year that just started.
Right.
They don't have to have their art ready.
I know
they're trying to do their thesis statement.
Right. And like I was saying, I know for the Jewish, it would have, of course, restricted them in celebration of their Jewish holiday, Jewish New Year. But then also like for those, like, right, how those students feel, or those residents or whatever, like, in that area. Yeah. That's what I was trying to say too. Like y'all moved it, but it's going to also not only exclude them if it would have, happened in the midst or within that time frame that their holiday was, but now that y'all have moved it and y'all changed it to this date, it's still going to exclude a lot of people from participating that would like to participate. School already be starting. Like I said, they extended the days, so I'm not sure that last day if it extends over the weekend. Look it up. Somebody look it up. Somebody that's listening, 9/20. 9/20 next year. What day it fall on? That probably start on a Friday, I'm thinking. So what they gonna run it? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday? You're not gonna really get anybody there on Monday. So I don't know.
But it's usually not the it's probably saying it's being held. That's the official date range of Artscape. Okay. But it just might be smaller events outside of the weekend. Like I'm sure the full event in September 20th is a Wednesday. So that's probably leading up to. So it's probably going to be some
okay. So they probably leading Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Right. So it's probably going to be some club things happening and stuff like that on those days. Mm-hmm. But when Friday, Saturday, and Sunday get here, it's when all the bigger stuff is going to happen.
Right. So and then they was extending it for the 5 days. So I think they wanted to run it from Wednesday to Sunday.
Because that's the same thing, that's what happens with Pride and all that kind of stuff. Those things start during the week. And then it goes through the weekend.
Right. So now they just gonna run it for 4 days. It's gonna be from Wednesday to Saturday. So it might be a lot of students and stuff and everything else like that, and working families or however else like that. My children be in school.
Again, we're talking about the school year had just began, and we're still talking about Artscape starting on a Wednesday. That's not they can't really do it. You gotta go to school, you gotta go to work.
And that's what I'm saying. Traffic, traffic.
I think they're gonna change it back. Watch.
Oh, well, let's see. We speaking life into it because
I don't know why they changed it to it just don't make sense to put it in September of all.
It don't, because even with that traffic, like I was saying, they shut off so many
streets. Art at the school shopping.
Come on. And they shut off so many streets. Like, they shut off.
Well, the teacher trying to get people to go out of the country with me. You think they
See, look at you. That's what she's talking about. Like,
I can't get these people to go out of the country with me. And you think about they buying no damn art.
Oh my goodness. All that money gonna be gone. And then that after all of the school shopping and everything else like that. And then another point that I wanted to make, the traffic already be hectic when Artscape come from them having to, of course, shut down so many of the roads and the streets. So we can enjoy that safely. But yeah, thinking about that and school starting back up up there by the colleges on a lot of these main roads, because they usually go North Avenue, because it was a mess when that marathon. That's another thing too. They gotta find a better way when they host stuff in the city for people, and and I get it. I love to see people coming out and supporting stuff. I like to see things like that. I think it's a good thing. If you're running a marathons, for different causes, yes, do your thing. But this city and just like the traffic detail and how they letting people and how they blocking, y'all gotta find another way. Because regardless of what, if you're in the city doing these events, it's no way you getting around it. Like the whole route, like everywhere, it didn't even matter. You couldn't cross Prairie. And then, eventually, because I had went to an event, it was Y22's Development Center 10-year anniversary. Shout out to Mama Nikiwe and Mama Ife up there running that school. Please check them out. But it was their 10-year anniversary of having this school. And we had plans to go there. I was hosting for them or whatever. And I said, oh yeah, I'm gonna leave out early, 12. I woke up, I had forgot about the marathon. I woke up, I said, oh no. So you should have seen me driving in circles, up, mic down, driving in circles, doing all of that stuff. And I couldn't get through. So after a while, I called it a wash. I told I was coming because I tended to show up early to help with some setup, get my thoughts together so I can host and, get some facts about stuff that she wanted me to share, because I didn't find out until the night before that she was calling on me to do so. And I definitely had to come through because, but yeah, it just was a mess. It just was a mess. So yeah, to move it to September, I'm understanding that's going to be excluding some people because the school year has been started, and as well as that traffic and everything being congested in there. Like there's a lot of buses, a lot of working folks that come through that way, come through those streets. I don't know how they're going to do it. I guess they when we got to start complaining, or we ain't got enough money, we ain't got enough sponsors for them to change it back. But guess what? We're going to get together. I'm going to start a petition, Money, for us to change it back into the August and December months. To tell them I got to go holler at somebody in the art district to get it changed back to August. Let's see what we could do as the people. Well, baby, I need to go holler at somebody up in the Jewish community, one of my Jewish peoples, and tell them, yeah, let's get this moved back because they seem to get things that happen in old Baltimore. Just wanted to give you a little fun fact too about Baltimore. Do y'all know Baltimore was established in 1729? I'm always paying attention to that number because 729 is my birthday. It was established in 1729 in the town of Baltimore. The British colonists established the port of Baltimore in 1706 to support the tobacco trade. Years later, 1729 is when it was established, and Baltimore is the Anglicization of the Irish name Bel Auntie Moore, meaning, y'all know I couldn't pronounce that wrong, which means the town of the big house. The town of the big house. So look, we be doing a big, I like to share little facts and stuff like that. But I told you, we learn and we grow together. You know what I'm saying? Everybody here that's joining me, we always on our glow up, just living. Ran through all them segments, gave you some of the updates. I always tell you, like, share, and comment. Be sure to tell a friend, and even an enemy too. They say you ain't popping if you ain't got no haters, and I know I got some, but guess what? I still love y'all. I want to get into some of the what and the whats because, I have a special place in my heart for children. Yes, I do, for all people. And it just was some news that I came across, and, some tragedies where I was like, wow, I never could understand. I just can't. I don't know. I know people snap. We talked about Ye, formerly known as Kanye, and his mental illness earlier, that he continues to use an excuse to say things and to spew hatred on things he just need to watch his mouth about. But the fact that someone can do something to a child, so an innocent being that really cannot defend their self at all. I always feel some type of way when I hear about any type of thing that is done to a child, anybody. Yes, Mike, you support somebody every year. That was that marathon, right? But it was a mess. Like I said, I'm glad that they out there and they doing it, but it was a mess, good brother. It was a mess. Did you run? Or you just was out there being cheerleading? You gotta let me know, Mike. But I always just be looking at these stories. So like I said, I feel some type of way, even if y'all know how it is when you're a caring person. There's so many of y'all here that's caring, that's loving people. It can be stuff that's happening. It's not happening directly to you. It can't be nobody that you know. That was one of the reasons why a lot of times I stopped looking at the news, or I just didn't want to hear no bad news. You know what I mean? But just hearing those bad news is let me know how blessed, should let you know how blessed you are, and just gets me to acknowledge, things that is in my life that I'm just so grateful for. But I just don't understand it, why people hurt children, why people do things to hurt the elderly, the disabled, why people do anything to hurt anybody, but just more so them. Like, why the babies? I was reading this story, happened back in 2020, of course. The trial and the story and everything. It's just been the Lord delayed getting out of the COVID. They put it on that. And like I say, when people a lot of times do things to children, a lot of them say that it's, mental or whatever, snap. I know I done had children I suffered from postpartum, and different things of that nature. But I just thank God that I never had the thought to want to hurt my children. Like, I want to, even in those moments of being frustrated, I'm like, or I might have felt like I was being not aggressive with them, but just my attitude was off. If anybody who's ever dealt with postpartum, you know what I'm talking about, right? My attitude was off. You just be real irritable. A lot of times you be depressed. I knew better to walk away. Like, I still knew, like, no, like, this little innocent little baby. So, like I said, I will never understand it. And I will never ever understand it. I can give no excuses for it. But back in January 17th, 2020, it was a young man, Zuka Vera 8 years old. I know I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, but I said it. What's up? It's your girl.
With conviction, you said it with conviction.
Hi.
You said that with conviction wrong, but with conviction.
I said it with conviction, but y'all gonna be watching me. I'm not the only one that mispronounce words, but I know that we have grammar police, and I know that you're always on me. So
Always
I do my best. I do my best to improve. And when I realize that I am mispronouncing something, I acknowledge it so I can laugh at myself.
I do, and that's also how you get over the hump. Yes.
Yes. And so also I can be better. So we're striving. I take heed to all constructive criticism. So I really, really thank you. So
high five.
High five, money. But it was sad. This 8-year-old boy, his father was a New York police. He froze to death in a garage. It appears that his father had locked him in there for a period of 16 hours for some form of punishment. And it's alleged that while he was in there, they sprayed him with water and everything else like that. So yeah, within this time, he froze to death, to freeze to death. He was an autistic young man. It is reports that the principal, whatever, was saying that they were blowing up CPS's phone and they were worried. They felt like he looked at like he was starving. What's the word? Emancipated. He looked at like not good. They said that he would have scars on his face or whatever else like that. Custody was awarded to the father a few years before that in 2017 as the father and the mom split. But since then, the mom was fighting to get her son back. She said that she was aware of the abuse. She was reporting several things to the school, reporting several things to CPS. She had videotapes and audio of the father where he was sending to her, making her two sons who were autistic, who didn't understand or comprehend some things, as well as others, making them say things like, I hate my mother, I don't want to live with my mom, or whatever else like this. Different things that she know would not be coming from them, but were being forced with the father. She felt that already was some form of abuse. She felt like her children were just not, looking themselves. So she just continued to report this stuff in the fight. I would like to question if he was never questioned because he was a police. The school says that he would just brush things off when he brought things up to his attention. It is an incident where CPS did look into this. They actually looked into it 10 days before his death and the case was closed. So reports were And I don't know if that was a report that was made from the mother that got them to get to looking into it, or the school. But to know like 10 days before this death occurred, this tragedy occurred, that the case was closed. So yeah, I would speculate that he really wasn't questioned as he should, or they really didn't take it as serious as they should, because he was a police officer. But the mother now has gotten the go-ahead from a judge to sue the school as well as Children Protective Services. So I pray for justice for this young man. It just was very, 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 very sad. She said that she provided over this 3-year span. She would send pictures, she would send videos, audio that she had recorded, where she says that the alleged abuse was captured by her. She was keep trying to take it to court to fight the case. However, he was awarded full custody of both of their sons after he was reporting that she was the abuser and that she was poisoning her children with brown medicine of some sort. So I don't know if they believed him over her, but I'm gonna assume that they believed him over her because she was a police officer. So yes, he has been detained for this arrest, for this death, as well as his girlfriend, because both of them allegedly doing this child's traumatic 16 hours a stint of being in this cold garage, being sprayed with water. What could a child have done? What? Like, really? And then to freeze to death. That's just so devious. That's just so devious. I hope they put him under the jail. I hope he never gets out. Him or his girlfriend. My heart goes out to that mother. Heart, of course, goes out to that school staff who are now saying that they were on top of reporting it as well. But the mom does not agree. She says that she's been going to them just as well, trying to state stuff. So she just was coming off as she was the crazy one, since they had, since the father had reported that she was the abusive one. So yeah, it's real crazy, but it was sad. And I just seen that popping back up in the news. I just wanted to mention that because I just was going to share my feelings on how I don't see how anybody would ever do anything to hurt a child, kill children, your own children, your own. I mean, I couldn't fathom what would bring someone to that. Even when I told you I was dealing with a mental type of breaks, as far as like with postpartum and everything else like that, I still never had those type of thoughts. Thank God. Because like I say, a lot of us go through the same thing, but the difference is you go through, but you get through. That's the difference. Because just like you see, a lot of times when people go through, I don't know what was going through in this father man, but a lot of times when people go through, baby, they get jail, they get the hospital, or they get the grave. So if you're going through and you're getting through, yes, always give praises to God, because don't nothing set you apart. It's nothing says that no such thing as bad things don't happen to good people. We all on the same accord. Even when I see people struggling with substance abuse and drugs abuse, I just give thanks to God because I'm here. I'm in Baltimore City. When you hear about the stories of people being killed, this MTA worker who just was slain in the parking lot up here on Washington Boulevard, we all on the same accord. That could be me. I ain't no bus driver. I wasn't going to work, but that could be me. How many innocent people we not too long ago standing on the bus stop, people come past and shoot. That could be you. That could be me. But for God, do you hear me? But for God, you know what I mean? And that's why I just give all praises all the time. Another story that I came across that I just thought was just so agrees. Oh my God, I'm ready to cry about it now. And I was in tears, y'all, when I was reading about the 8-year-old boy who froze to death. Like, froze to death. He sprayed this baby in his garage until he froze to death. Wow. But this one right here, y'all, just blew me away. This one right here is in Mobile, Alabama, and blew me away, not in a good way. Like blew me. Like I was like, really, dude? 23-year-old Eugene Sneed, the father allegedly purposely poured boiling water down his 1-year-old daughter's throat. So he is now detained. The judge just denied him bail. The baby is in ICU, suffering from severe burns. The mother has made statements that she's fighting for their life. The family is outraged, rightfully so. Allegedly, the mama went out to return home to see her daughter's face and parts of her shoulder and stuff to figure. She was, questioning or asking what happened. This guy, he must have had some other stuff with domestic violence issues. I'm not exactly sure if it was with the mother, but he was due to be in court for a domestic violence situation, and more than likely was with her because she allegedly was outside on the town. I don't know what she was doing, partying or whatever. They probably was arguing. He probably threatened, come get this baby out. I don't know, but bro, boiling water. I know when this story first came out, and I was talking to Monty, he was thinking, maybe it was an accident through the bottle, whatever else like that. But no, sources and investigators, even hospital staff, the doctors are reporting that it's no way it was an accident. It's so much damage internally to this 1-year-old baby from the water. So it was a large amount of water, meaning it did not come from a bottle being over here, like a baby sucking on a bottle, and then it's just so, so it's boiling water and hot, and it, affected the esophagus or whatever else like that. Like, no, like several of her organs that contribute to the digestive tract are damaged. She had a lot of damage to her face, burn, everything else like that, and also her shoulder. So yes, pray for that baby. That baby is in there fighting. I don't know what was in the brother mind. Shalina over here in the comments, she's saying that she just heard about the lady locking up her 16-year-old twins and they escaped and found help. Wow, like, yeah, like people just be doing like crazy stuff, y'all. I just seen so many stories, especially that, remembering seeing, people locking their children in closets, treating them like animals. One of the main stories I think I seen one time when Dr. Phil, like these children had lived in this, and it was only one child that they picked on. So like the siblings and everything was like aware this was going on. The baby was in the digging on the wall, eating the door. They weren't feeding them or nothing. I remember many years ago, a young lady out in O'Donnell Heights, like the school was reporting she wasn't coming. I think she was killed, like a foster parent that was doing the same thing, like children living in their own feces, eating just, I don't know, like to me, that's just like some truly devilish stuff, like demonic. Like, how are you okay with that? Like, even if you was a person to be enraged and you snap or whatever, when I'm thinking like far as like beating a child to death or doing something so vicious to the point where you killed them, like y'all, you can't feel good about that. I mean, it's been situations where I've raised my voice and I've had to spank my children, and my discipline a lot of times I feel has been just, but the way I might have said it or went about it or did it, or let's just say, my children said, girl, don't, oh boy, and then you feel bad about it. So my whole thing is, how can you have a child just keep hitting them, or babies, just like how that, like, what's that shaking baby syndrome? Like, how can you just take this baby and just shake them so forcefully? You feel me? That it like Oh my goodness. I just seen something like that on the Steve Wilkos show where the baby, I felt for that mother, and the mother was like, it's just like somebody just turned my baby off, but the baby was shook so severely that it detached his neck bone from his spine bone. Not no accident, not no nothing. Somebody just shaking his baby. So yeah, that was in Mobile, Alabama. Pour boiling hot water down a 1-year-old baby girl's face. And when I seen her, she was such a beautiful young lady. Even a young 8-year-old boy that I said up, what part of New York was that? That was in Center. It's something called Bittersweet Land up in Center, Monchase, New York. And he was up there. I never heard of that part of New York. But nevertheless, like I said, his father was the NYPD police, and that's probably a whole bunch where it didn't get, really questioned or which name like how it should. And we know what like CPS, I always say like a lot of, just like I was saying earlier about the incident, like how does this stuff keep on happening? I know that things have to happen, but like y'all mess with people so much, but it just be the wrong people. Like how stuff like this get over y'all head though. Y'all saying that this baby, the CPS looked and said that he was like looked at malnourished and all this, but y'all still closed the case. Like how y'all do that? Like how y'all do that? Like real talk. I even was looking at his pictures when I was reading on the story. A handsome young man. Handsome young man. And like I said, I shed some tears. Like, how could you do that to this baby? How can you do this to my baby? To these babies? Because I look at all babies, like our babies, we're all children, all family, under God. Y'all, the show is coming to an end. I love to talk your head off, but I hope you enjoyed. I talk a lot of good stuff. I'm so grateful for you joining me and talking to me. But y'all gotta stop being shy. These phone lines be open now. And y'all don't be calling me. None of that. Remember to like, share, and comment. Get your voice up on here and be heard. But guess what? I'm just as much satisfied with reading your comments. I thank you. So don't take that no type of way. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and even an enemy too. Y'all know how I do. I'm coming through every Thursday, 7 to 9, giving it to you. Your news, our views all the time. I hope y'all be enjoying my shows. If you ever have any topics you're interested in being a guest, you want to know what's going on with You Better Live and the rest of my station brothers and sisters shows. Yes, we got Nate coming on tomorrow with the Artist Exchange. I know it's a new show that comes on too right after Nate's, but y'all gotta check us out. Go to the website, beexposedradio.com. You can see everything. You can go on there, you can be a sponsor. We run ads, we run commercials, all of that. You got a business you want to promote. And then guess what? I'm extending an invite to you that anything that you want to talk about, you can. That show that come on at night is Skyline. Yes, that comes on at 7. Nate's come on at 5. So don't just watch me. Watch them too. Come through. Yes, be exposed and be exposed. That's what we do. And we here to expose any and everything. And if you want your stuff to be exposed, then this is the place to be. Don't be shy, y'all. Don't be shy. I'm going to be back here faithfully by the grace of God next Thursday, hey, with the You Better Live radio show with your girl, ChasReal, the Empress Lady Kate Mix. God loves you. God bless you. And guess what? Come back through and talk to me next week. I'm going to be talking to a cancer survivor. She's going to be telling everything about her organization and things that she's planning. Yes, because it's breast cancer awareness month. But I'm lining up some good jokes, y'all. I'm on my job. It's hard. Life ain't easy, but I'm going harder. You better live. See you next Thursday. God loves you. God bless you. Your news, our reviews. I'm back.